set up again. I don't have a proper tripod or anything, so flying by the seat of my pants here. All right. To Facebook. Okay. Okay. I do have supposedly some royalty-free Spotify music, so I'll just, get that going. All right. And I need to, in my timer app, mark that I am working on this. There we go. Some other lights on here. Hello. So I'm getting some supplies out. I have a giant bin of stuff that I keep like all my current commissions in. So this is the next bag I'll be working on. And this is where I keep like the patterns and the fabric for the current kigu. And then up here I have like, that's actually not supposed to be there, the buttons and the small patterns. And this is where like the hood will sit while I'm working on it. So giant kigu. I mean, no bigger than usual, but here's the cute little face. I'm really excited about this one. It's adorable, and I'm really enjoying the eyelashes on it. This person's persona had just really adorable eyelashes, and I like doing them so they're still loose. I don't know, just adds a dimension, I think. What I'm doing today is putting on buttons. Hi, Kate! So I have the buttonholes in, and I need to like cut them and then sew in the buttons. And then after that, I have some design work to do for the next project and packing and like doing the packing slip for this and all that. So we'll see how it goes. Trying to figure out how I can set you up so you can see as I work on the buttons. That'll work. Yes, so this is my second kigu where I've put in piercings, and the last one I was able to find, sorry about the, we're sitting on my oatmeal container, but the last kigu I was able to find like actual piercings that fit everything, and for this one, the nose ring was just larger than any nose ring obviously exists. So this is like a jewelry ring that I sewed in, which means it doesn't come off for washing, and I will have to note that to the customer, but it should be fine. It's protected. So one of the things I do is, even though I've backstitched and stuff, take any loose threads, pull them through to the wrong side and with a needle, and then tie them off. And I started doing that with my appliques, and it just helps everything look a little cleaner. But it does take a little bit longer. I have no idea how to stay in frame here. I'm sorry. I may look into getting one of those like attachments that can go on like a bag strap or something, so I can just wear the camera and then you'll see what I see, like a GoPro helmet for streaming. It's ridiculous, but you know, I haven't figured this out. I have no idea what's going to come up in the music because I just went on Spotify and Googled royalty free, and this is like the top listened to playlist. So yes. Yeah, a tripod would be good. The problem being like I'm going to end up moving around a lot. So when I'm laying out the buttons, I actually do that on either the floor or the couch. And there's not a great way to set up a tripod for that. But yeah, an actual everyday tripod would be good. I show you I have a GoPro setup, but I don't know how to stream from GoPro to Twitch, but I literally glued my GoPro stand to a jar, so all of its little parts stay in the jar, and then it can be clipped into the stand on top, and then I like caulked it down so there were no hard sharp edges, and I was gonna paint it and then I got lazy, so now it just looks like this. And that's what I use when I record like my YouTube videos. Okay, finished that one, which I don't do very often. this one got really all messed up. I'm also actually using a button foot, and it's fantastic in getting these really nice straight buttonholes. And I don't know why I didn't do it for so long. Like the first time I used it was on my first commission. And I don't know why I was so stubborn about like, I can sew a straight line and measure correctly. No. Button foot is worth it. It's very helpful. Oh, come on. Do I have a needle threader? Yes. Am I stubborn about that as well? Also yes. Fine. This is also like one of the largest openings I have in a needle. No, I don't do anything straight. Come on. Why? Yes, I sew for a living. Did you tell? Come on. Get through the, you know what? Okay. Let's start by actually putting the needle in here because I just realized this thread is going to be short enough anyway that if I tried to get the needle in after threading it, I have to completely redo this. Okay. There we go. Now I can tie off all these bits. Well, some of them. Others are just going to get clipped. But at least they're all on the same side now. So what happened with this one is I don't know why, but it like jumped a little bit when I was sewing it. So I had to go back through and reinforce it. And that's why there are threads everywhere on this one instead of just in one location. There we go. Scissors. I love my tiny scissors. So how are you doing today, Kate? You'll have to show me tomorrow. I'm so excited to see the new garden getting ready for summer. Also, happy Beltane. It's completely out of frame again. Try to just awkwardly shift everything down a little more. Figure at least looking at the button is more entertaining than my face concentrating. All right. There's the button. Hi! My hair has faded to this, like, pink rose gold thing. I'm not mad about it. Also looking really healthy today. Got all the spring. And I rediscovered this shirt. I was going through my closet and I was like, why haven't I worn this shirt? I love this shirt. And it looks really good with the tomboy rainbow bra. Yeah. Back to commission work. Also, if you hear JoJo, she usually takes her nap around this time. She's been very good about hanging out in her room while I'm working. But when she hears other people's voices, sometimes she gets up and wants attention. So I don't know if me talking through the stream is going to make her mad. I don't want to wake her up. I will definitely, at the end of streams, show JoJo. If I can get away with sneaking in there beforehand, I might. But I try to, like, have a set routine for us so that she's not upset when I work every day. She knows that I'm not here. Is like the least entertaining part of making a kigu, but it's got to be done. Did it only? Yep. Only 2 more to go. These ones have threads on the opposite side of the buttonhole because they were the first 2 I did before I decided I wanted to go like all the way around again. Just help reinforce everything. I'm also watching my own stream on the desktop so that I can type faster and see what's going on. There's definitely a delay, so if it feels like I'm responding late to things you say and stuff, it's because I don't see them for a bit after you type them. Just something I always kind of wondered about when watching other people's streams. I was like, is this on a delay? Yes. I don't think I have seen that yet. I should. Here comes the fun part with the really big scissors, because none of the little scissors cut through this many layers of fleece. And I just have to be really careful so as not to cut the buttonhole. Though I have before, like, accidentally cut through the threads, and it's not too bad to repair it. Ta-da! Oh, come on. Oh, I thought I got it cut, but I didn't even get it cut a little bit. Okay, come on. There we go. Go. Where should I go to see the Jackson cover by Trixie? Oh, come on. Okay. That makes sense. I just know sometimes there are like things on Hulu and stuff. Yeah, I'll check that out later today. I watched her like 2 days ago do a review of a like toy Singer sewing machine. It was upsetting. She's really iconic. All right, now it's time to actually get the buttons in, so I'm gonna have to relocate, and I have no idea how that's gonna work, so I'll just be back in a moment. We're moving. Okay. Oop. Figure out how to. That'll work. Oop. Little scissors. Coming in. So, Kate, you know, you're the only one here, you know. We've got the couch is the guest bed, and I figured out it's actually long enough for me to lay the kigus on, so I don't have to work on the floor. So I can be here when I'm doing pinning and buttons and that sort of stuff, which is so much more comfortable. There we go. Now I can have my computer a little closer to still interact. These buttons aren't a perfect match, but the client was perfectly fine with them, which makes me happy because now I don't have to dye buttons. This is probably too long a thread. I was watching, oh gosh, I've forgotten her name. One of the historical costumers who's working on the peacock dress, and she was saying that you shouldn't cut your thread longer than the length from your hand to your elbow when you're hand sewing, so that you don't like injure your shoulder constantly moving it back and forth. And I sat and looked at my thread that was probably the length of my whole arm and went, like, it makes sense. Oh well. So I kind of work my buttons from either direction. I'll line up the bottom and I'll line up the top, and then I'll work in towards the middle to help make sure everything lines up without bunching weirdly. Start by tying on a loop. I'll line it up down here. Oh, it's right off the screen. Go down. And just sew the button on. Yeah, I hate having to retie on thread, but she made a very good point that the longer threads are harder to keep from tangling. So sometimes when you have a really long thread, you just end up having to cut it and sew back on again anyway. And I'm like, yeah, I've done that. So I'll come a little closer. I'm gonna wait for the stream to catch up to see if I'm in the right place. Roughly, good. After I've gotten it pretty thoroughly stitched on, I come up from underneath, but don't go through the button. And then wrap around, leaving a big loop that I then tie off through and pull tight to make my knot underneath the button. I generally do that at least twice. And then I'll loop back underneath the button and sew into the fabric in between the layers of the button of the facing here, so it still has a bit of thread length, so it won't come untied. That's just hidden. I used to actually do buttons on my machine. That's definitely faster if you can get them lined up right, but I found they fall off easier just because they're not tied off. And after heading to a cosplay repair station a couple of times, I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So I've gotten that one buttoned. Line up the top. Now the top, when I made this pattern, as you can see the bottom, it like lines up perfectly. And the top kind of awkwardly, the points overlap. Because when I was making the pattern, I was like, yes, the perfect curve. And then I folded it under and went, I didn't leave enough straight space for them to line up when they're folded over. If I was putting in a zipper, it's perfect, but I'm working with buttons. So I put that buttonhole right there, so when it's buttoned, it kind of covers up the overlap. Like, I know it's a little thing and it probably won't bother anybody else, but I definitely looked at it and was like, why? Oh, I'm not sure you could see any of that. The problem area. Perfectly lined up, awkward overlap. I wish I could have JoJo out here while I'm sewing, and maybe as she like gets older and calms down, I'll be able to craft with her around. But I mean, I was just watching somebody stream the other day and she was all over my computer. I've tried sewing with her around before and she just wants to be where I am and doing what I'm doing, and I get it and I love her. But yeah, I definitely need to have a separate area from JoJo when I'm working. All right, have fun with your groceries and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you too. Yeah. Good. All right. Next button. I would love to make like a stitches kigu or a Coraline or something where I can use really big buttons for the eyes someday. Be fun. Like, I've definitely gotten commissions for things before where I'm like, yes, this is right up my alley. I would love to make that. So if anyone wants one of those. Talking into the void. little too short to do another button, so getting a new thread. I like to be able to do at least 2 buttons with each thread, and that one got me through 3, so yeah, that was good. Okay. While I'm speaking into the void, one day when I have like a house with a workshop for my job, or at least a separate room, I want to get one of those really big tables where I can cut all my patterns on the table, and also do stuff like this while sitting at a chair or standing, because it is not good for my back. I definitely do lots of stretches on sewing days, and the watch helps with that. There are still days after I've done a lot of patterning where I wake up the next morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right, I did squats for 2 hours yesterday, everything's sore. Have to open one of my other ones now. I think this is a closer color. They're all the same button, but you know how different lots will have a slightly different dye. So this should be the closest in color. I Unfortunately, the 1-inch packets of these buttons, which are my favorite buttons to use for kigus, come with 6 buttons in them, and I use 8 on a standard size kigu. Well, I say standard. I have like a pattern that I alter depending on the size. And if you're over like 6'3", it definitely needs to be lengthened enough that another button is added. Up to like 6 foot, it doesn't really need any more length. I'll probably add like an inch onto the end of the legs. After that, I start adding in the middle so that it keeps its proportions. So at that point, it can be like 9 buttons, but I always feel silly buying a whole nother pack of 6 for 2 more buttons. So these 4 were left over from the last packs that I bought of this green. End tried to slide around to be on top. There we go. Yeah, I always do my buttonholes first and then my buttons, which I find makes everything more even. I don't know why. I know some people definitely go buttons first and can line everything up really well that way, and it doesn't work for me. My neighbors have a very cute puppy. Both Jojo and I look up every time he passes the window. They, take him out for walks and bathroom and all that sort of stuff pretty frequently. The other day, they're coming back up the stairs, and JoJo definitely thought it was Z coming home and got up from her nap and got all excited and then was like, oh, it's the dog. Poor thing. one more button. I think I should be able to do it with this thread. And I have to take pictures, so I'll probably pause the stream to do that. There are people here. And then come back to the stream just to show like how I pack everything. I have a lot of fun with it. Not a lot of fun, but you know. Still something, and I've seen a lot of like packing videos on TikTok, so apparently that's something that people are interested in, question mark. I probably don't need to say the question mark out loud. That was probably indicative in my tone. I'm gonna skip this one just because it's definitely explicit. Like I said, I haven't listened to this station before. The next song is playing, but I don't hear it. There it comes in. So I don't really know what to expect on it. It's just royalty-free music. So I'll keep looking at other stations and stuff for streams in the future. I don't mind explicit wording, but that's not really something I want on my streams. And I don't know if there were songs earlier that had it and I just didn't notice them. I always leave a little bit of thread on the ends of my needles just so that I don't lose them in the pin cushion, because that's happened to me at least once before. I have this cute little teapot pin cushion that I got for myself for my birthday like 2 years ago, because the only other pin cushion that I have is one that my mom and I made, which is cute. That's my everyday cushion, but I wanted like something a little more novelty. Then I always end up just wrapping the threads that I have left over around the T handle so that they don't hang out everywhere. Yeah, and I have it organized by like my color of pins, because otherwise I just use all yellow quilting pins. But there we go. And they all lay fairly flat. I'm gonna go get pictures of this little guy completed, and then I'll be back.